Hi everyone, Erik here from Mad 8 Productions, this time with a review of Galaga 88 for the PC Engine. This game was released in 1988, go figure, in arcades, and then was later released in 1988 for the PC Engine in Japan. It was later released in North America for the TurboGrafx 16 under the name Galaga 90 in 1989. This is the fourth game in the Galaxian series, Galaxian being the first game, followed by Galaga, Gapless, and then Galaga 88. I've never played Gapless, so I have no idea if it's any good or not. I'm sure you guys can let me know down in the comments. This is obviously a Japanese import. It will play on an American TurboGrafx 16, but you'll need to have a region modded system or have a PC Engine to TurboGrafx 16 adapter. And we'll get into why that's a good idea to have later on in the video. But right now, let's go ahead and take a look at the game.
Here's the case for the game. It looks very similar to a jewel case. They're actually the same size. But when you open them up, instead of a CD inside, there's a hue card, or a turbo chip as they were called in the United States. United States turbo chip cards and the Japanese PC Engine hue cards look exactly the same, but the pinouts are actually different on the system, which is why you need an adapter in order to play the PC Engine games in your TurboGrafx 16. And then we have the manual here, and this one actually has the registration card still inside, which is kind of cool. I always like when the registration cards are still in there because it makes the game feel more complete. I have no idea what it says though because it's in Japanese. And then here's the manual itself, which even though it's also in Japanese, the artwork is still pretty cool to look at. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the gameplay. The first thing you'll notice is you can choose to start with 2 ships and 1 in reserve, which is the option that I usually pick. You also see we've got some cool animated backgrounds. And also some of the aliens are different and they explode in kind of cool ways, some of them. And you also notice some of the waves have an escort that kind of brings them in and then flies off screen. If you're able to kill him in enough time, you'll get extra points for that. Here you'll see 2 enemies actually combine, and if you kill them, that little capsule I grabbed is a warp capsule. You'll see why those are important later. And you'll also notice, holy crap, that guy just kidnapped my double ship. That's not something that can happen in the original Galaga. And I was able to rescue it. So you're actually able to power your ship up a second time, which is pretty cool. You can see the game moves really fast. It moves faster than the original Galaga. Now I can kill everything really quick, but I'm waiting to let some of the enemies get on the screen, especially those ones that combine into a bigger alien. I want them to do that because that's the only way to grab that warp canister, which I want another one of those. And there we go. And now we have a bonus stage. These are always fun. The idea here is to try and kill all of the bad guys, and you get a bonus for doing that perfectly. This being an old arcade game, a lot of what you're playing for is for points. You want to try and get the highest score possible. Alright, I was able to kill everything. Like a nice little fireworks show. And now we'll see why those warp canisters are important. if you're able to get to the bonus level with 2 warp canisters, it opens up that dimension warp, which opens up another set of levels. So I'm actually now seeing different aliens than I would normally see, and it's actually a little bit harder than it would normally be because I was able to warp. If you get to the bonus level with none of those canisters, or only one, then you're not able to open the dimension portal thing and get to the harder sets of levels. Now here you can see there's obstacles, and blowing up those obstacles is another way to get those warp canisters. You're able to get 2 warp canisters per level, one by each method. So one by blowing up an obstacle and one by blowing up an alien that combines. And now I'm on to the second bonus level. And it's a little bit harder. And again, this bonus level is actually even harder than it would have been because I was able to do that dimension warp thing. And we'll be doing it again after this bonus level because once again I've got 2 canisters. I really do enjoy this game more than the original Galaga, and I'm a huge fan of the original Galaga just because of the added depth. A lot of replay value being able to see the different sets of levels depending on whether or not you warp or not. And now here we have our first auto-scrolling level of the game. These are kind of interesting. They scroll on like this with asteroids and waves of enemies here and there, so it plays more like a newer top-down shooter than what Galaga was. You kind of get some interesting formations to play with. No warp canisters on these levels, though. Now you pause to fight off a bunch of aliens. And this is harder than it looks when they just all appear on the screen at once. You can see it gets pretty crazy pretty quick. I hate those aliens that take a few hits, they balloon up each time you hit them because they do a really good job of blocking your shots. Holy crap, things are going downhill pretty quickly here. This becomes much harder when you're down to a single shot ship. Jeez, that was ridiculous. And now we're on to our first boss of the game. Here's something else the original Galaga didn't have, bosses. And these are difficult. And this is actually, once again, a more difficult boss than what would be here because I used the dimension warps. damn it. Here we get a nice little map showing us how far we made it. And high score screen. Something doesn't feel right though, just getting to the first boss and not beating him. Let's try that again. It is really hard to get shots in when you're just a single ship and you're trying to dodge the ships kamikazing at you and the bursts of fire from the boss. Damn. All right. Now things are really moving fast and we've got more obstacles in the way. And it only gets more difficult from here, but more fun. But you get the idea.
So, as you can see from the gameplay, if you're a big fan of Galaga, you're going to want this. It's just as good, if not better. It's very similar to Galaga, but there's obviously some added depth with the dimension traveling and new enemies and the extra power-up system. Now, the other thing that I mentioned earlier was this being a Japanese import. You will need to have either a region-modded system or a Japanese to American adapter. The reason that's a good idea is that collecting TurboGrafx 16 United States games can be really expensive. For example, this is a Japanese import. You can get this for around $20 on eBay complete, whereas the North American version, which is the same exact game, it's just the packaging says Galaga 90, and frankly, it's not as cool looking, sells for between $40 and $50 complete. And in some cases, the price differences can be even more extreme between the Japanese and North American versions. And also, there's a lot of great games that were released in Japan that just were not released here, especially shooters. If you're a big fan of spaceship shooters, you're definitely going to want to have either a region-modded system or a Japanese to American adapter so you can pick up some of those Japanese exclusives. So like I said, if you're a big fan of Galaga or spaceship shooters in general, definitely pick up Galaga 88. It's tons of fun. This has been Eric from Mad 8 Productions. Thanks again for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what some of your favorite PC Engine / TurboGrafx 16 games are. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.